Laughing hard over a small misunderstanding. Have you ever had one of those misunderstandings that was so small, so completely ridiculous, that it just made you laugh until you cried? Well, let me tell you about a time this happened to me and my friend, Liam. It's a story about a cat, a cryptic text message, and a whole lot of confusion. It all started on a perfectly normal Tuesday afternoon. I was at work, staring at a spreadsheet, when my phone buzzed. It was a text from Liam. All it said was, "It's done. He's gone." Finally, now. Liam is a bit of a drama king, so I'm used to his flair for the dramatic. But this message, this one felt different. It was short, blunt, and a little bit ominous. My mind immediately started racing. Who was he? And where had he gone? And why did Liam sound so relieved, almost cold? I texted back immediately. "What do you mean? Who's gone? Is everything okay?" The reply came back instantly. Couldn't take it anymore. Had to be done. Okay, now I was officially panicking. My spreadsheet was completely forgotten. My fingers flew across the keyboard. "Liam, you're scaring me. What happened? Did you get into a fight with someone?" No reply. 10 minutes went by. 20. My imagination went into overdrive. Liam and his neighbor had been having arguments about parking for weeks. Had it escalated? Did Liam do something drastic? I tried calling him. Straight to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. My heart was pounding in my chest. I started picturing the worst-case scenarios. Police cars, yellow tape, Liam making a frantic phone call from a police station. It sounds crazy, I know, but his messages were just so vague and alarming. I decided I couldn't just sit at my desk. I told my boss I had a family emergency, which, in my head, it basically was, and I grabbed my keys and ran out of the office. The drive to Liam's apartment was the longest 15 minutes of my life. I was rehearsing what I would say. "Liam, whatever you did, we can figure it out. You need a lawyer. We'll get you the best lawyer." I was mentally calculating how much money I had in my savings account. I was fully prepared to bail him out of jail. I was a loyal friend, ready for a crisis. When I got to his building, I took the stairs 2 at a time, my lungs burning. I hammered on his door. "Liam, open up. It's me. Are you okay?" I yelled through the wood. I heard some shuffling inside, and then the door creaked open. There he was. Liam, standing in his pajamas, looking completely bewildered. He wasn't disheveled. There were no signs of a struggle. He was just holding a dustpan and brush. "Hey," he said, blinking at me. "What's with all the yelling?" "I was just cleaning." I stared at him, completely dumbfounded. I pushed past him into the apartment, my eyes scanning for any evidence of a crime. Nothing. The place was a little messy, but that was just normal Liam. "Your texts," I gasped, catching my breath. "You said he's gone. You said it had to be done. I thought you did something terrible." Liam just stared at me for a solid 10 seconds, his expression shifting from confusion to dawning realization, and then, finally, to pure, unadulterated amusement. A small snort escaped him, then another, and then he just collapsed. Not in a dramatic, pained way, but in a fit of laughter. He doubled over, clutching his stomach, tears streaming down his face. He was laughing so hard he couldn't speak. "What?" I demanded, feeling more confused than ever. "What is so funny? I thought you were in serious trouble." He finally managed to catch his breath, wiping a tear from his eye. He pointed a trembling finger towards the living room window, which was slightly ajar. "He's gone," he wheezed, another wave of laughter bubbling up. Finally, I followed his finger. I saw nothing, just the street below. "Who, Liam? Who is gone?" He took a deep, shaky breath, trying to compose himself. "Mr. Snookums," he said, and then burst out laughing again. Mr. Snookums, who on earth was Mr. Snookums the cat? He finally managed to get out between gasps. "The stray cat that's been terrorizing my pot plants for the last month. He kept digging them up." I finally managed to shoo him out the window and get him to leave the fire escape. "He's gone. It's done. The reign of terror is over." I just stood there. In the middle of his living room, my heart was still hammering from the adrenaline. My mind was still picturing jail cells and lawyers, and he was talking about a cat. A cat named Mr. Snookums. The sheer absurdity of the situation hit me like a ton of bricks. All that panic, all that worry. Over a stray cat who had a vendetta against his basil plant. First, a small giggle escaped me. It felt strange after being so tense. Then, I started to laugh too. It wasn't a small chuckle. It was a full-on, can't breathe, stomach-hurting laugh. We were both just standing there in his apartment. Me in my work clothes. Him in his pajamas holding a dustpan. Both of us crying with laughter. We must have laughed for a solid 5 minutes. Every time we'd start to calm down, one of us would just say Mr. Snookums and we'd be off again. When we finally recovered, I explained my whole thought process to him. The ominous texts, the unanswered calls which he missed because his phone was on silent while he was cleaning. My panicked drive across town, the whole dramatic scenario I had built up in my head. With every detail I shared, he just laughed harder. He admitted his texts were a bit dramatic, but he was just so fed up with that cat. We ended up ordering a pizza and just talking about how ridiculous the whole thing was. It was a moment of pure, unexpected joy born from a simple miscommunication. It taught me 2 things that day. First, context is everything. A text message without it can be a recipe for disaster, or, in this case, a recipe for a really good laugh. And second, it showed me how much I cared about my friend. I was ready to drop everything and go to war for him. Even if the enemy turned out to be a fluffy cat named Mr. Snookums. It's one of my favorite memories with Liam now. Every once in a while, one of us will text the other, "It's done. He's gone," and we both know exactly what it means. It's our little inside joke, a reminder of that crazy Tuesday afternoon when a small misunderstanding led to one of the biggest laughs of our lives. So, what about you? Have you ever had a misunderstanding that ended up being hilarious? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and letting me share this story with you. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more stories like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. See you in the next video.